Okay, short video in anticipation of next week. Graph the equations together. So here's y, here's x, okay? They are definitely opposite sides with the y all by itself isolated. So you got m and b, and over here, m and b. So y equals negative 5x plus 2, so I'm going to graph it with slope and y-intercept. So the slope, the y-intercept's the plus 2, 0 and plus 2. Then the slope is negative 5, but I need that to be a fraction, so I put a 1 under it. Okay, so 0, 2, I go up 2. And then from that point, I go, it's rise over run. So I'm going down 5, forward 1. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, down 1. Okay, so I take my ruler and I simply connect points on that. And that is the graph of the equation forever. Okay, now the next one, slope, y-intercept. Okay, so again, my y-intercept is minus 3. Okay, so I go down 1, 2, 3. And the slope here is negative 5 over 1. Okay, again, it's the same as I did here. It's rise over run, so I go down 5, right 1. And then I really don't have room to do it again, so I'm just going to take the ruler between those points. Okay. Now, those lines are really close together, but they're never going to cross, okay? So they are parallel. Parallel lines, the slopes are the same. They have the same m value, okay? The multiplier of the x is the same. Now, here you got y equals negative 1/2 x plus 6, y equals 2x minus 3. So I got mb and m and b. So y equals mx plus b. So we're finding the slope and the y-intercept. Okay. So the slope here is, and I'll be doing it twice, okay, because there's two lines where I have the slope and y-intercept. Okay, so the m value here is negative 1/2. Okay, and then 0 plus 6 is my slope. So I go up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Then it's rise over run, so it's a rise of negative 1 and a run of 2. So down 1, right 2. Down 1, right 2. And you can keep doing it if you really felt like it, but 3s, you get the idea. Okay, there's my first line. Now for my second line, y equals 2x minus 3. So minus 3 is my y-intercept. So 1, 2, 3. And then my slope is 2, but to make an integer into a fraction, you got to put a 1 in front, underneath it. So it's up 2, forward 1. So up 2, forward 1, up 2, forward 1. Now those are not are going to cross. They're not parallel. But even though that doesn't look like it because I'm a horrible grapher, the lines are perpendicular. The reason they're perpendicular is because these slopes are reciprocals, and then one's negative and one's positive. Okay. So what the idea is to do, turn to this page, write an equation in slope-intercept form that's parallel to the equation y equals 5x minus 2, and through the point when x is 2, y has to be negative 1. So I go y equals blank x plus blank. Okay, that's how I write an equation in slope-intercept form. Now I got to have the m and the b. So the m I have over here should match the m over there. Okay, the b, again, the minus 2 we don't do anything with. We could care less what that number is. So m is 5. Now parallel, I have the same m here that I have here. The same value. So your m is 5. And then for the y-intercept of this line, I use y equals mx plus b. Put a 1 in front. And remember, take your m out right away and put 5 in. Okay, that goes in for m. Now x and y, put -1 for y, and then I multiply the 5 by 2. Now 5 times 2 is 10 plus 1b. Okay, so I have a 10 I have to take to 0 by subtracting 10. So -1 minus 10 is -11. -11 equals 1b. But you don't need to divide by 1. You can if you want, but that's your equation right there. Okay, and if I compare this to this, they're going to be parallel if I would graph them on a plane. Okay, parallel to y equals 9x through the point x is 0, y is -5. So y equals mx plus b. So again, my m and my b. So look at the line, and it's parallel again. So look for the slope, and if the y is by itself, isolated, you know it. You know your m is 9, okay? By the way, it'd be 9x plus 0, but we don't care what that other number is, so that's my m value. So y equals mx plus b. Okay, so I'm going to replace those. And my m value is 9, so remember that. Then y is -5, and then I'm going to take my 9 times 0. Okay. So I have -5, 9 times 0 is 0 plus 1b. Okay. Now, I already have a 0 there, so I can just get rid of it, and I have my b value, because -5 divided by 1 would be -5. So y equals 9x plus -5. And if I compare that equation to that equation, okay, they have the same slope, okay? Okay, now on the back side, perpendicular to y equals -3x plus 7 through 3, 5. So m and b. Okay, so my m is related to this line, but it's perpendicular, okay? So m right there, y equals mx. I don't care about the plus 7. Now, perpendicular, you need your m over here to be a fraction. So you're going to put a fraction, but then you need to reciprocate the fraction. So what's the reciprocal of 3 over 1? That'd be 1 over 3. And another thing we have to watch out for, if we have a negative here, we're going to have a positive here. So my m is 1/3. And y equals mx plus b. Okay, so my m is 1/3. And then I'm going to put 5 where the y's at. And then I'm going to take my 1/3 times the 3, because that goes where the x is at. And this is how I find my b. I got 5, 1/3 times 3. Okay, 1 ABC, 3 times 3 is going to be 1. Okay. And then get your 1 to a 0 by subtracting 1. So 4 equals 1b. You don't need to divide by 1. 4 is equal to b. Okay, and if I graph that line and I graph that line, they're going to be perpendicular. They will form a 90-degree angle where they intersect. Okay, next one, y equals x plus b. Okay, so I got to figure out m and I got to figure out b. So the given equation has an m value of 8. Okay, so perpendicular means I want that m to be a fraction, and then I reciprocate the fraction to 1/8. And that 8 over 1 is positive, so mine over here is going to be negative, so it's -1/8. So y equals mx plus b. And my m is -1/8. Okay, and then this is x, this is y. So y is going to be 10. I take -1/8 times 4. That's actually going to be -1/2, because it would be -4/8, but then that reduces to -1/2. okay? So 10 equals negative 1/2 plus b. Okay, we got to get the negative 1/2 to 0 by adding 1/2 to 10. So 10 plus 1/2 is 10 whole with a half added, equals 1b. You get rid of your b, and I write 10.5 right there, okay? Okay, and there we have it.